Vice President Mike Pence joined us earlier this morning in Studio 57 for a wide-ranging interview. During a break, we asked him about the new effort by Senators Graham and Cassidy to repeal Obamacare and the status of pre-existing conditions.
Do you support a plan that could allow insurers to charge more premiums for people who have pre-existing conditions or who are elderly?
The President's made very clear that there were elements of health care reform that we wanted to preserve, including protections of pre-existing conditions. And as Senator Cassidy and Senator Graham have made clear, their legislation does just that. But look, we have a very clear choice before the American people, whether we're going to stay on the path of the failed and collapsing policies of Obamacare that have seen premiums rise, choices decline, millions of Americans have lost their coverage, have lost their doctors, or whether we're going to embrace the idea of state-based innovation and reform. What the Graham-Cassidy bill does, and the President and I strongly support it, is it essentially repeals the individual mandate so Americans can choose whether they buy insurance or not again. It repeals the business mandate, but then it block grants the resources to the states so that 50 different states can innovate the way I did when I was governor of the state of Indiana.
Just to put a finer point on that, you are right. It does continue to protect people with pre-existing conditions. However, it does allow waivers to insurers in states to make the decision about whether they want to charge people more who have pre-existing conditions or charge the elderly more. Would that be fair? Is that right?
But Norah, the whole concept of Graham-Cassidy is built on the American principle of federalism. It's the idea of allowing 50 different states to innovate and create new ideas and new products that'll better serve all of their citizens by block granting resources to the states. Instead of creating a one-size-fits-all program in Washington, D.C., we'll have some states that'll go one direction, some states that'll go another direction, but people will be able to see, as we did in Indiana, the kind of reforms that'll improve access to health insurance coverage, lower the cost of health insurance, and ultimately improve people's lives.
But even with federalism, are you prepared to give states the right to waive a pre-existing condition clause?
The President's made it very clear that we stand by his commitment to protect pre-existing conditions. But at the end of the day, we just have a very clear choice. About a week ago, Bernie Sanders and a number of Democrats in the Congress laid out their ultimate vision for health care, and that is single-payer health care driven out of Washington, D.C. And what Graham-Cassidy articulates is a completely different direction, moving power out of Washington, D.C., empowering states to do what we did in the state of Indiana when I was governor. We actually introduced health savings accounts into Medicaid. We got people to move from the emergency room to primary care. We had some underprivileged Hoosiers who, for the first time ever, were able to choose their own doctor and have their own fund to be able to pay those first expenses out of. So there's lots of innovation that can happen. As I said, the President and I truly believe in federalism and state-based innovation and reform, and the momentum that you see behind this bill, 15 different governors coming out in favor of the bill, I think will only continue to grow in the days ahead.
Mr. Vice President, your staff is turning purple, so I think you have to go. You have another engagement where you're needed live. We thank you very much for joining us on this.
You don't want purple staff members.
No, you don't.
Good to be with you.
It's not healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.